So what is a universal indicator? So this is an advanced acid-base indicator. Okay, not like the phenolphthalein methyl orange. So it's an advanced type that can be used to determine the degree of acidity or alkalinity of a colored solution. Okay, don't forget, if you look at the color of this methyl orange, like methyl orange now that turns pink in acid solution, what if the solution was already pink? It will be kind of very hard for you to measure the acidity of that solution because already pink. You will know when the color change will occur. That is why universal indicator is used, because this one, it's a mixture of dyes. It is composed of many indicators such as methyl orange, methyl red, and phenolphthalein. And one special thing about this universal indicator is that universal indicator can indicate different color ranges according to the spectrum of light. So you have red, orange, green, blue, indigo, violet, and so on. So it can indicate all these colors based on the pH of that solution. Like if the pH of that solution is 7 now, it might give you green. If it is 8, it might give you maybe red or yellow. So depending on the pH of that solution, it will give you a particular color. So that means that you can use it to measure the pH of a solution that's already colored. You understand? Then the next part is that a universal indicator can indicate pH values between 2 and 13. Okay, take note of that. JAMB will definitely ask you all these kind of things. So keep that in mind. The next part is the pH titration curves. So first of all, you need to understand what is titration. But before we get to that, the overall shape of a pH curve depends on the strength of the acid and base. Are you using a strong acid or are you using a strong base? So the kind of curve you get when you plot the graph of pH on the vertical axis, pH on the vertical axis, that's y-axis. Then you plot the volume of the base used on the horizontal axis. The kind of graph you will get depends on maybe you're using a strong acid or a strong base. Okay, now what is titration? Titration is an analytical quantitative method of determining the concentration of a known analyte, okay, by allowing it to react with a titrant until an endpoint is reached. So basically, in titration, there are two reagents that are being used. There's analyte and there's titrant. I'm going to give you the meaning of titrant and analyte later, as you can see from the notes here. So you use this titration to determine the concentration of a known analyte. That means one of them will be known, one of them will not be known. So in titration, basically you are using the known to find the unknown. So what is a titrant? A titrant is a known solution. It's a known solution which has a precise and an accurate concentration. Okay, so the one that is known is called a titrant. Why the one that is not known is called the analyte. So the analyte is the unknown solution for which you would like to know its concentration. So the analyte is the one whose concentration you are looking for. Titrant is the concentration that, as in the compound or the reagent that you already know its concentration. So you are using the titrants to find the analyte. And taking of the fact that in titration, it is the base that will be added to the acid. Like the acid will be in a beaker like this. You put the acid in a beaker. So you pour the base from the burette like this. You pour the base into the acid. The base will be going to meet the acid. That is why on this titration curve, the horizontal scale is volume of base. Volume of base. That's what's on this horizontal scale. While this vertical part is a pH value. You understand? So that's about titrants and analytes. Analyte is the unknown reagent whose concentration you are looking for, while the titrant is the one whose concentration is known. So at the end of the day, you're going to use the known to find the unknown. So you can get different curves based on how you do titration. So there are different kind of curves that you can get. So this is titration curve. So this is graph. This is titration curve for a strong acid and a strong base. So strong acid and strong base, what the graph look like? So an example of a strong acid is HCl, and another example of a strong base is NaOH. So I've given you guys the charts already to tell you the strong acid and strong base. Okay, so strong acid HCl plus NaOH, when they react, this will be a neutralization reaction. This reaction is called neutralization. So it will give you NaCl. This Na will marry this Cl, that will give you NaCl. This H will marry this OH, that will give you water. So acid plus base gives you salt and water. So this kind of titration is the acid HCl will be in the beaker. Then you now be pouring the base inside the acid. You understand? So at first the pH will be very low. Why? Because HCl is a strong acid. So it will be low at first. You can see where it is. Don't forget that anything less than 7 is acidity. Okay, gives you idea of acidity. So since the pH is low, that means you can see where it is, almost like 1 point something. So that means a strong acid. So by the time you start adding the base into the acid, the pH will now be rising. You understand? Because this one is a strong base. So as you're adding to the acid, the pH will be going up. The pH will be trying to get to 12 or get higher. So the pH will be rising, and at a particular point, getting close to like 7, where the acid and the base, like the equivalent point, where the equal number of acid have reacted with the equal number of base, like 2 of them have reacted equally. Like take for example, if you have like, I'm just doing an example, like a literal example, you have five strong acids and you have 5 strong bases, and 5 of them take each other 1-1, like they pair 1-1 like this. They pair each other 1-1 like this. That is at this point here. But that means you have reached the equivalence point where equal moles of acid and equal moles of base have reacted. Okay, so at any other point after that, the pH will spike, like it will start going up. So that point where equal numbers have reacted, that's the equivalence point, and it is called the equivalence point. That is the point where the titration reaction has taken place exactly. So at that point, you should stop the titration. But if you continue, the pH will keep rising or higher. You can see the way it's going higher, 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 and so on like that. So this red line here is called the end point, or you can call it the equivalence point. The equivalent point and the end point are not actually the same, but you can just assume that they are the same. So this point here is the end point. You can see how the pH spiked from this, like this 0.7 here, it jumped to like 10 without any increase in the volume. Like you can see the volume was increasing like this from here, but at this point it spiked, it jumped up, you understand, without any increase in volume. As soon as there was increase in volume, it would have been like this, maybe something like this. It will be going flat like this. And this part, there will be gap in this part to tell you that this is a particular volume, maybe V1, so it's V2. But at this point here, there's no change. This V here is spiked from this point, it went up. So the pH increased from 7 to like it went up. So the kind of indicator that I can use here is methyl orange, methyl red, or phenolphthalein. There are kind of 3 indicators that you can use for a strong base, strong acid titration. Please take note. Now the next part is that another thing that JAMB might want to ask you is to take note of this particular point. There must be a spike for an indicator to work. There must be a spike under a small range, under a small pH range. If there's no vertical section or a vertical spike like this, you cannot use an indicator. I'm going to show you later in other examples. Okay, so what else can they ask here? So just keep this in mind. Look at this graph and study it very well. And note that, in short, that sometimes that you don't have to stress yourself. Once you see the pH starting from like something very low, like 1 point something, that means strong acid. It now rose up to like 12 point something. That's a strong acid, strong base titration, because 2 of them are strong. The acid is strong, the base too is strong. So it will start from strong acid, like very low, then it will rise up to something close to 13 or 14. You can see it's getting close to 12. That's the base too is strong. And the reason why it rose is because you have passed the end point. If you stop at the end point, you're going to get 7 exactly, but you cannot actually get 7 exactly because in titration you're prone to errors. So definitely as you keep on adding the base, it will spike. It's supposed to stop at 7. Strong acid, strong base, 2 of them are equal, so you should stop at like 7 neutral. But because you cannot get that exact 7, you understand, any small thing you add after that 0.7, it will spike, because the OH and the H plus, they are equal at the equivalent point. 2 of them are equal, they have the same strength. But after that equivalent point, this 7, pH of 7, anything you add, as you're adding the base again, the base will now be more than the acid. So the base will now have power. So the thing will now spike. It will start getting more alkaline. The pH will be rising up and up like that. So that's about that. Okay. So the pH, the indicators that you can use for strong acid, strong base is methyl orange, phenolphthalein, and methyl red. So keep that in mind. The next one is if you have strong acid and weak base. So example of a weak base is ammonia. So ammonia plus H2SO4. H2SO4 is a strong acid. You're going to get ammonium sulfate. That's NaH bracket 2SO4. This is a neutralization reaction. Even though you cannot see plus H2O, it's a neutralization reaction, because I'm not using this thing, ammonium hydroxide, but ammonia is a weak base. Okay, it's a weak base. Now look at what the graph looks like. So it starts very low because H2SO4 is a strong acid, so it starts very low down here. Okay, something close to 2 or 1.8. Then it gets to this point. As you're adding the base, the ammonia, the pH will be rising. Then at this particular point, it will spike again. That's to tell you at this point, this is where you have the equivalent. This is where you have the equivalent point. Sorry about that. This is where you have the equivalent point. The equivalent point is where the acid and the base have equal concentration. So it will spike again. Once there's a spike, that means you can use an indicator. You can see this vertical section, like this, like now went up vertical, flat like this. That means you can use an indicator. So it stopped at 8. It didn't get to 10. It stopped at 8. That's because this one is a weak base. You cannot spike it up to 12 like this one, which is a strong base like NOH. So it will not get to 10. It just gets something like 8, 8.5. Sometimes at times it might get to 7. Just know that it will not get to 12. It will not go too high. So the indicator that I can use in this place is methyl orange. Take note, JAMB has asked this question before. They have asked it before that the indicator used in a strong acid, big base titration is what? So the answer is methyl orange. So methyl orange has a pH range from 3 to 8. That is where it changes. So you can see from 2 point something or 3 point something, you change at 8. So because there is a spike, a vertical section, you can use an indicator. So that indicator will just tell you the color will change at this range. Once the pH spike, boom, like from 3 to 8, it will change color. Okay, then you now know that some reaction has taken place and you have reached the end point. Hope you understand. So strong acid, weak base, use methyl orange. Strong acid, strong base, use phenolphthalein, methyl red. Any of these three guys, sure. The next one is weak acid plus strong base. Now the base is stronger, don't forget the base is strong, but the acid is weak. The example is strong base is NOH and weak acid is H2CO3. H2CO3 is called carbonic acid, while H2C2O4 is ethane dioic acid. So these ones are weak acid, they are weak. The base is stronger now. So if you look at the reaction, because the acid is weak, it does not start at 2. It's not start at, you start something up here, something close to 5, because it's a weak acid. Unlike in the strong acid where it started at less than 2, because that was a strong acid. But this one now is a weak acid, so it start around 4, 5, or even like 5 point something. Then when the reaction starts, when you start adding the base, the NaOH, because it's a strong base, it will spike it up. This one is the base is stronger, so if you want to raise it up to 13 or 12, the base is strong. You know, anything like above 7 is strongly alkaline. So the base is stronger than the acid, so the base will spike up. You spike up the reaction, and this is the end point. This red line tell you where the equal number of base and equal number of acid have reacted. So any small thing you add again after that, the reaction will keep on spiking, to keep on going as in higher and higher and higher. So it's starting at 5 point something because it is a weak acid, not like this one that started at 2 point something because it's a strong acid. So in this case here, the indicator that I can use is phenolphthalein. Take note, weak acid plus strong base titration uses phenolphthalein. Okay, so you can see it will spike, to go up from something like 5 points, weak acid, then to go to strong, higher. You get. Then the last one is the weak acid plus weak base. Weak acid plus weak base uses an example is ethanoic acid and ammonia. So this is the graph here. This graph is flat. It does not have a spike. It's not like the ones I've been doing, like the ones we'll be looking at that goes like this, something like this, like it's going like this. Then all of a sudden you not go vertical, then it will not go like this. In this type, you can use an indicator because indicators must show change in like pH at a sharp point, like sudden point, like boom, it will just fly. Where the pH change, see the pH change, like for example now, look at this pH now. This pH here changed from like maybe, let me say 6 point something, it went to 12. You can see it fly to 12 straight. But here it's just gradual, like the pH is just going gradual. There's no sudden change because the acid and base, all of them are weak. So the number of OH minus ions, which is the hydroxide ions, and the H plus ions, they are not much. You understand? So the solution will is like is weak. The condition of OH minus there and H plus there is very, very low. So they not dissociate completely. Let me just put it like that. So weak acid and a weak base. The example is ethanoic acid plus ammonia. Ethanoic acid is a weak acid, ammonia is a weak base. So if you titrate the two of them, the graph will be flat like this. There will be no sharp points. You will not see something like something like that will fly up like this. You will not see anything like a spike like this. There will be no spike like this. There will be no spike. So it will just be flat like this. So weak acid, see where it's starting from. In short, you can start from here to show that it's a weak acid. At the end of the day, it will just be flat. Can get to something like 7 or maybe less than 8. You can see if you trace here like this, it's supposed to be less than 8. So something like this curve. So there will be no sharp point. You understand? No spike. So no sharp point, no end point. The indicator used is no indicator. You cannot use any indicator here for this experiment. You cannot use any indicator because indicator must show pH change at a sharp point, like boom, 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 sharp point. That's what you can show. But this one does not have any sharp point. It's just going like boom, like as if a car is just moving slowly. So no indicator is used, and you have to use a pH meter. So a pH meter is an electronic device that can tell you the pH too. So a pH meter can only be used, but you cannot use indicator, you cannot use methyl orange, you cannot use phenolphthalein. None of them can be used except use a pH meter. So what's the pH meter now? The pH meter is an electronic equipment used to measure the acidity or alkalinity of a solution accurately. So it is electronic in nature. So a pH meter is very good in the acid-base titration of colored solution. So take for example, when you titrate Coca-Cola or blood or pH of urine, because Coca-Cola is colored. If you can easily see the color change, unlike maybe a solution that is already pink in color. You're not adding something like methyl. You're adding something like maybe methyl orange. Methyl orange will give you pink, but because the solution is already pink, you cannot know the change that will occur. So a pH meter is better. You see, because it's electronic in nature. It's electronic. You can see, used to measure acidity or alkalinity of a solution accurately. So keep that in mind. The next one is that a pH meter can be used in the titration of a weak base and a weak acid. So if you have weak, like this kind of titration now, you're going to use pH meter. You're not using methyl orange or methyl red or phenolphthalein. Okay, so that's about the notes. I hope you understand. So thank you.